A day like use OBS for that is kind of hard. Got a whole bunch of shit I had to go through.
All right, we're back. Uh, right now, we're going to be looking at Tacomas. We're going to be looking at Tacomas in the pre-owned category. We're looking for fully loaded. We're looking for fully loaded. We're looking for ones that are pre-owned that are low mileage. We're looking for darker colors. Let's see here. So yeah, we were looking at a flash here. Um, we're gonna go. Let me go ahead and clear this off. Let's go ahead and take a look. We need to be in one that's loaded up nice. We need sunroof. We're looking for the newest tech, so that's why we have to do 24. Now, the Tacomas only offer a four-cylinder and a four-cylinder hybrid in the 2024 and newer ones. Harder to get V6s in today's market. And 23s are nice, but you are going to be a little bit backwards on the tech on that. So that's the one disadvantage to going with that. So let's go ahead and pull up our limited packages that we have available. All of our pre-owned. And if we're looking at pre-owned, let's take a look. Let me just take a look at some states close by because, I mean, we can run a check on any of these ones, but and find out for sure. But when we're buying used, sometimes it's better to kind of see what's available close by first, if you know what I mean. Not the end of the world if it's not, but these are all going to be newer and lower mileage. So let's just take a look at Virginia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. This is going to be all the pre-owned ones that are going to be in these three states. And I did find some that were really, really competitively priced. Let's see what we have in the low mileage range here. You can see that if you have one that's, like under 10,000 miles, you might as well buy a new one, right? Like here's a couple of them for $50,000 right here. That's I can get you a brand new one of these. Oh, here, let me. I can get you a brand new one of these for about 50 grand for this one. And you can see this is like the brand new one here, only 2,300 miles. But I could get you one where for the same price new. So the advantage would be that you would, of course, your warranty would start then. And I always, not always, but sometimes I'm wary about people getting out of cars with 2,300 miles on them. I always like to check the history on those. Sometimes there was a warranty issue with the vehicle, and the client doesn't want to take the chance and just trades it in. Um, Here we go. This is going to be, your skylight that comes on this limited package. Really nice one. All right, great. So you can see, let's see what happens when we want to go down in price. How many miles do we have to take? So here's some with 9,000 on it. Here's one for 42. It's in Virginia Beach. It has 11,000 miles on it. That's a hell of a buy right there. That is going to, that's a silver. It's a little bit lighter color, but I'll tell you what, the price is right for 11,000 miles. Comes with a nice cap on it too. This one wouldn't be bad. I really do like that. Let's see, make sure here and see. Yeah, everything looks where it's supposed to be in the photographs. And that's a nice thing. A nice bed liner on this one. You get a little better gas. So these aren't known for having good gas mileage, but you do get a little better gas mileage when you don't have the tailgate, holding, acting as wind resistance. So it's like the old Pro Net back in the day. This certainly helps to have a cap on there to kind of streamline it. But this one does have the light colored interior. So, if that interests you, this is silver with light interior. That might be why it's less. There's people who are doing the jobs with these, or still using these for some work type jobs. A white leather interior may not be their first choice. You can see, I mean, the trailer packages on this one. And this is what I'm talking about here. This particular screen right here is what you're getting on this 2024 Limited. It's like a 14-inch screen compared to the um, 2023, which has a much smaller screen on it, more like a 8-inch screen or something like that. But it's the technology is way, way better on this one. But like I said, a heck of a buy right here on this one. I could get it shipped. Let's see what the shipping cost would be. All right, yeah. So I mean, it only costs. I could probably have drivers drive it for free, but if you wanted it trailered in, you're looking at about $500 to have it sent. So not a problem, not a big deal. So like I said, they could and make it real easy. So yeah, that would be 42,000. So we could get one with 11K on it. That saves you about 7 grand. That's not bad for taking one with 11K. Here's one in Boone, North Carolina. It's 15 days old. I don't see a lot of pictures on this one yet. It's a little closer, 11K on it. This one had an original price of 54. So that wouldn't be terrible. I mean, I might be able to get them down a little bit. It looks like they started. Oh, you know what? They increased the price on this one. So I think we could probably get this one for 43,000, probably 43 if I were able to call in and work this one. So this one, let's see, it might be sold because let me check and see if it's sold. Yeah, that one's sold. Well, whoever did paid extra. Let's see. All right, so here's one with 20K on it or under 20K in Newport News. This is going to be a darker colored option right here. Nice part is it's at a Lexus dealership here, so they deal in Toyota. But you can see the ones that I'm finding are like these ones. This one here is a light colored interior on this. Um, Again, they'd be able to bring drivers and drop this off. They've had this for just a little bit over a month right here. So, um, you'll see what happens. I'll show you. So this is what happens here. So when they get the vehicles in is when they start high. So they were swinging for the fences on this one. They're seeing if they could get somebody to pay close to sticker for this one when they first got it. Looks like on Christmas, they're trying to tax you. And then on the 4th, they kind of came to their senses and tried to put it down to 44. And look, now they're trying to dump this thing right here. So this is a good buy on this one. So right now, as of January 17th, we're at 41,000. They're not going to move much off this price, but that's going to be about 13 grand off sticker, or probably about 9 grand less than I can get a new one for, or 8 grand less than I can get a new one for. So that's a good buy. And let's see what the color is on this one. It is the underground color, which I kind of their gray color. But yeah, I mean this is a nice truck, nice price. Again, they want to punt this thing. They want this thing to go before they start having to pay a floor plan on it. Let's make sure it has sunroof. Okay, there's really not a lot of pictures on that one. Let's see if we can go to their website. What I like about it is that this is a Lexus dealership, so and it's a let's see if we can get some more pics of it here. There's really not many of them. Only 7 pictures. Well, they must not be trying very hard to sell this car, because if they only have 7 pictures of it, then go away. Okay, so here we are. We're at the website here. We're not getting very far on the photographs, so we're probably going to check the window sticker if it's available. You look at that real quick. Doesn't have a lot of. I think it has a sunroof on it. I think it does. I'll have to double check, but there isn't a lot of photographs on this one. But it is a substantial discount on this one. They're trying to unload this car. They're going to sell that at auction price on that one. Once the car gets to be about 60 days old, and then this one here is, about 20 days away from that, really. But we can also just take a gander at the Carfax on this one. Yeah, this checks out. So I'm pulling the Carfax on this one here. This checks out right here. Okay, so this tells you the real story on what these vehicles are really worth. All right, so Carfax is going to give us a little bit of information, tell us a little bit more about right here with the Carfax value. That's going to be kind of like what one of those outfits like JD Power or Kelly Blue Book. They're going to be ones that are going to kind of give you an idea what this car is worth right here. And you can see it's about a $42,000 car on the Carfax value. So they're about 1,800 bucks below. So that for a Toyota, that's pretty solid. But you see, a lot of people are still trying to charge top dollar for this kind of stuff here. So everything checks out. Carfax looks good. So yeah, they're just trying to punt this one here. So this one would be a nice and easy deal. They'd send drivers, and hopefully we could get them to take your car too, since they can, they have good luck selling your car at their dealership. So if you would be interested in one in that particular color, that one is close, and that one is a great price. We're saving some bucks off that sticker. Carfax checks out. Okay, so I put a star on that one. Okay, there's a 24 limited right there for 40 in the mid 40s. Okay, let's see if we take one with some miles on it. What happens if we take one with 24,000 on it? Here's one in Spartansburg. It's a silver one. It's at a Jeep store, so I mean, at least it's at a yeah. So with 24,000, here's one right here. Shoot, this is not too far. I mean, this is in Spartansburg here. So this one looks like it's been used a little bit in the bed here, but nothing crazy. Again, you can put a cover on it. This one's going to be a TRD right here. So still a nice package, but yeah, you can see it. This isn't even a limited. You can see right here. This is what the technology was on the 2023 package. See the smaller screen here. Still a nice technology on it, but it's not. Obviously, you're getting the old tech on this one, which would explain why it's cheaper. But yeah, they have this one incorrect on there. That is a TRD off road, not a limited package. You're missing the sunroof. You're missing a lot of the amenities. Let's see if we go up just a hair here. This one's in Concord. This one's 40 grand. Okay, let's see here. This one here is a black on black. This is nice. Let's see. See if they have any. They've had this for 12 days. It's got about 25K on it. But this one, again, this one is not what they claim to be. They claim that this is a limited. If it was, it would have the bigger screen. So this is just another TRD off road posing as them misinterpreting this one as a limited, which it is not. You know, your limited package is going to be fully loaded on these. You know, it's going to be designed for comfort. Um, all right, so that's not going to work here. Let's see. Or can we go up on miles at all here? Here's one for. Here's a white one for 43. If you want to do a white one, white on white. A lot of white interiors on these ones close by. All right, so you see here, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. This big screen right here. That's the difference right there. That I mean, this is the like the TRD off road little 7-inch screen is like the '60s Enterprise. Like it's still high tech and everything, but this is like Captain Picard SS Enterprise right here. Like this is the newest right here. So, I mean, it's basically like a spaceship on this thing. So, everything is still. What I do like about Toyotas, they still have a lot of dials so you can control temperature and sound and everything. They didn't completely do everything on the computer, but it is nice to have that big screen there. Just really easy to utilize everything on this. Let's see. So I got a 24. I got a white one there. Let's do one more experiment here because sometimes there's just one that's such a good deal that it's worth actually shipping. Remember, we can sell your car to anybody. We're not stuck selling your car to. See what happens if we just do a nationwide search. Okay, so we've got 175 to choose from. And let's see what happens when we open this up here. So if we take a look, so we have a few in Delaware. Here's an orange one for 39,000. If you wanted some different kind of color, we can get this one here, and it's a cheap one. It's 3,000 miles on this. Um, it is the TRD one again. It's not. This isn't the real one. Sorry, that's the TRD off road with the small screen. All right, here we go. So in Dewey Beach, it looks like they are the superstore for these right here. Here's one with 15 miles on it for 40 grand. Holy shit. Let's see if this is the real deal though. Yep. Is this still available is the question. When do they Yeah, I mean that might be the best buy of them all. Let's see what it take to ship this one. See, check it out. They've had it. There's a $55,000 truck. Let's type in our thing and just see what it would cost to ship. 750 to ship. But yeah, we've got two of them. Let's see. Let me do a little investigating on this one here because I just want to see if there's a Carfax. Yeah, there's a Carfax on this. And this is in. Hey guys, come on, pup. Come away here, pup. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we are. We are at the um, all right, we are at the let me look at this. Share this tab instead. Okay, so we're at the Carfax. Here's one that is no accidents. It was a commercial truck for 12 months. Yeah, this thing really has 25 miles on it. So this would be one we might want to give them a call on here. This one, the Carfax is good on this. It's good Carfax. Um, they where why is this so cheap is what I want to know. Okay, so they tried selling this for more, but again, like these are starting to get older on the lot. Yeah, they want to dump this, so they want to get rid of it. See, so like once 60 days hits, then um, the bank that they borrow the money from to keep the cars on the lot, the floor plan is what it's called. They start getting charged interest on whatever assets they have for more than 60 days, and it's not a low interest rate. So the objective is to sell everything before, even if you got to take a little bit of a loss on a vehicle, it's better to get rid of it before you're paying interest on it, right? So they're looking at the new car market on these, and they're seeing that it's kind of dropped a little bit. So that's why we can get into something like this, and yeah, we're talking about $15,000 cheaper than a new one, and it's got new miles on it. And when I look at this Carfax, let's take a look at the Carfax again. Um, oh, we are looking at the Carfax. Okay. Um, let's take a look at the warranty. So the warranty started just last year in March, on March 14th. So my guess is that they may have the dealership may have needed to punch a couple of them. They hit their number. What they'll do, the dealership will use their own cars as service loaners. So if like you have to bring your car in for service, they'll have cars that they'll rent out to you and charge your insurance company. Right? Makes sense. In this case, if you had a Tacoma that you had to get something worked on, they'd want to give you something like that to put you into. So that might explain why this car only has 25 miles on it. That being said, I mean that's a hell of a buy on that one. If it sounds too good to be true, but I'll definitely call on it. They have a couple of them. They also have this one too. They have two of them. This one has 3 miles on it. Yeah, so yeah, that's looking like a great buy on that one. Let's see. Let me just pull up these pics again and make sure, because doggone it, this is just crazy. It has no miles on this thing. It's like showed on the Carfax 9 miles. Like they just, what they did? Look, I see what they did right here. What they did right here is they uh, punched a few rides before the. Oh no, here's where they sold it. Yep, that's what happened. Look, on the 28th of February of 2025, they sold this car right here. They sold it to themselves because they needed to hit their number for the month, right? So, and I bet you that if we looked at that other Carfax, and I can pull it up right here, we'll see the same thing. Okay, so this is for the other Tacoma. Let's see if that was sold on the 28th of February of last year as well. It was. It was. Look, so so basically, they've been sitting on these cars. They have two of these, so I'm sure we can get one of them from them, right? Um, so both of these cars and look, so basically what I can show you here is I want to show you this grid. This is a special tool I use called Visor. It really breaks everything down according to price. So here I am under $40,000 and under 3K. I found that this dealership punched two of their Tacomas in 2024 and used them as service loaners and are now trying to sell them as used cars. Okay. So they kept them going as service loaners. They didn't really use them, and they figured they could sell them for close to sticker when they were going to retire them as service loaners, and that's exactly what they did. So you can see that's why they're both priced at right around $41,000. Yeah, I mean here you see, and they're both the same color, by the way. They're that kind of that dark gray finish. It's really sharp. A lot of people like it. That's almost a brand. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's a brand new truck. See, there's your giant screen right there. We've got two of them at this dealership. We got your sunroof, everything. And I mean, just so you can see, like, let me just show you where they. So they've had this for 45 days, and to be truthful, the used car managers really try hard not to sell these because it's always a loss to the dealership, right? Like it's always a loss to them, and used car managers get paid based on how much their overall gross that they make in the department. Like so, they get paid like 10% or 15% of the entire gross of the department. So if the department makes 100 grand, they get 15, right? So if they sell, and every car that they sell as a loser counts against it. So when you sell cars and you sell one and it loses $2,500, it counts against your bonus. So these guys aren't jumping out of their shoes to sell a car at a 2 grand loss, but they do have to go because they also get charged for the floor plan, and that's what's going to happen in 15 days. They put this off as long as they can, and now they have to sell these cars, and you can tell by the way that they price them. So you can see that right here when they first got the vehicles right around mid December, they had them priced in the mid 40s. Now they're at 40,000. So that's a hell of a buy. We got two of them right here. They're both in Dewey Beach, Delaware. Brand new. They can be shipped with for about $750 on top of that price. So remember that this is going to be pretty close to where they're going to stop as far as they would probably not going to negotiate a whole lot more off this price, maybe a little bit because they have two of them and they need to go. But they've already gone down from 44.5, so we're already you know at a good place right now. It's a few $1,000s under what the Carfax says they're worth. Great opportunity right here if you want to really get a slapper of a deal. If we go up miles, we can go lower on the price. Here is one in Washington. It's kind of if you like a blue one. Let me make sure this is a TRD. So this is going to be the old one. See old screen. But here, let me show you something here. So we can ship in from anywhere, right? And with cars with no miles on them, like it doesn't scare me, like um like if it's got 20,000 or less miles on it, and we do an auto check and Carfax on it. It doesn't. I'm not scared of that. It doesn't bother me because we can look at the condition of the car. You can. So here, let me find one that's kind of far away here. Oh yeah, I got to put it down to the limited package here. So the limited package, let me pull that back up. All right. So here's one. Here's a good buy. Let's see if we can find a good buy on these. Okay, so here's a good buy on one. Here's one for 38.9. It's about 20,000 miles. Let's just make sure this is a limited because it has the look of a yeah, it has the look of a TRD off road. Let me look again. Yeah, you're gonna run into. All right, here's one in Phoenix, Arizona, for example. All right, it's a white one that you may not like, but I do have a way to easily book the shipping on this and estimate what it costs. One like this wouldn't scare me. So if we fast the country at a great deal, with like almost no miles on it, it wouldn't scare me. It wouldn't scare me at all on that one. But you can see what the shipping would be. You see it just goes up from there. 750 bucks or 1700, 17.5. So yeah, you're looking at like about $1,800 to ship from Phoenix to here on this particular vehicle, right? Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth it. Okay, let's see. Those ones in Delaware look good. All right. All right, here's one in Georgia with 10K on it. You want a blue one? I don't know if this is. Yeah, this might be a limited. Yeah, yeah. We got a blue one here for about 43 grand. So we've got them in dark blue. We've got them in that kind of that gray, the dark gray, and then we have them in a couple that I've seen in black and in silver. But so far, you can't. Nothing can really compete with these two right here. These two right here are the best buy that we've seen on paper so far. What they'll do is they'll tack on fees sometimes or whatever, but that's red tape that I can cut through on that. Yeah, I like that. I like that deal. Let's just pull this up here real quick and see. Yeah, yeah, that is a good buy. Let's do a little tour here. Let's do a little vehicle tour. Yep, that's exactly what they
At Price Premier,
these
you
two
can
cars.
purchase this
That means they
2024
cashed them
Toyota
in.
Tacoma
And
Limited
you
for
use them as service loaners, but then just sidelined them for
$40,347.
6 months.
This
I've seen
underground
it a million
pre-owned
times.
Toyota
This is
Tacoma has 15
if
miles
I
and
had to
is one
guess, they
owner
probably have a new
Carfax
general
certified.
manager
This Tacoma is loaded with
from
great
when they did
features like
this.
cooled seats, heated
That's usually
seats,
like the
leather
kind
seats,
of like the
sunroof,
tactic that
and
general
heads-up
managers will
display,
do
to
when they're
name a
about
few.
to lose.
If you have interest
They're
in this
about to lose
2024
their
Toyota
job.
Tacoma, contact us for
Like a last ditch effort to try and hit your numbers. But if you're not hitting your number, that's the problem of the management. That's the problem of the general management and the way they manage their employees. The Toyota dealership should hit their number every month. There's no excuse. Try to get greedy on everybody that comes in the door. It doesn't work. Yeah, it's not going to play it.
At Price Premier, you can purchase this 2024 Toyota Tacoma Limited for $40,347.
Nice. Okay, so now we're getting a little bit of a
This underground
look
pre-owned
here at
Toyota
the-
Tacoma has 15 miles and is one owner
So
Carfax
yeah,
certified.
we see here it's got
This Tacoma is loaded with great features
heated
like
and
cooled seats,
and
heated seats,
sunroof. I mean,
leather
but when you
seats,
look there, when you look
sunroof,
around
and
these
heads-up
tires
display, to name a few.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead.
If you have interest in this 2024 Toyota Tacoma, contact us for more information.
Yeah, those are two good ones here. Let's see. Let's go back here and just look at the pictures. Can we just look at the photographs? Maybe I'll just do that on the. Here, we'll do it on visor. Okay, so looking around everything here, let's get a close up here and see. Look, I mean, this is cheaper than a lot of the used ones, right? Like on paper. You know, my concern is that if I call them, they wouldn't do business over the phone, but it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. Yeah, they wanted to punch him because they knew that nobody would be able to lease them and might as well make them service loaners for a while and kick the can down the road. Just shit on your used car department. Another thing they'll do that's another thing they'll do before they get rid of a used car manager is they'll dump that water right on them right before they get fired. So that way the person they bring in to take their job has a few months to deal with all the water that's on in the lot right there. So there's a lot of little things that dealerships do, but the consumer can take advantage of that. We've got two of them here. Yeah, no corrosion or whatsoever on it, but you can see this is what kind of gives you away on these, right? Like with these wheels right here, you know you're getting the limited package. Nice chrome polished look on it. What you would expect with a luxury type of truck with everything like that, right? And what you get with a TRD, which I'll find one of those, you can tell by looking at the wheels. So here you can see it's listed as limited, but really what it is a TRD off-road package. Say small screen. When you look at the tires on this thing, it has those Meteor tires and black wheels on it. Instead of the chromes, it has the black wheels. So that's kind of one of the ways you can just kind of tell by looking at them without even, you know, the limited comes with those nice stock wheels on there like this that are chrome. You know, I mean, don't make no mistake about it though. The technology, as far as the 4-wheel drive technology, is still tip top on this one. You can drive this one anywhere on the beach. I mean, obviously it's not off road, but it'll go anywhere, like on any country road, on any, you know, any snow conditions. You know, probably isn't good for, you know, like a off-road trailing or anything like that, but you know, this isn't that truck. This is a nice 4-wheel drive though. It definitely overperforms in every category. All right, you can see here just to kind of show you. So what a lot of people do is they, you know, hey, here's some for 45,000. They'll save you a little bit of money on one, right? Not bad, but you know, you can get a brand new one with new warranty for, you know, just a few $1,000s more. But you see the games. I mean, like here they are. A lot of these here are priced at what we can get a new one for. Here's one for 49,000, right? I can get one of these for 50 grand, brand new. So Yeah, dealerships are delusional. Look, I mean, they've had this thing for over a year. You know how they're paying on that floor plan after 60 days. So they're not trying to sell this one right here for some, that's a museum piece. This dealership in Kokomo, Indiana. What's the name of their dealership? I bet it's a museum. The Honda dealership in Kokomo, Indiana. But yeah, like I say, just to reiterate, these are the two best deals I found that are relatively close by. Both of these models right here are going to be under 100 miles, so never driven. The dealership just has to get rid of these because they were doing a shortcut in February of last year. They weren't at their number that they needed to be, so they sold themselves the cars that they needed to be able to get their numbers. So say their number was 50. Toyota writes them a check for, you know, say like 50, $2,000 for every one that they sell. So sales general managers, in order to make sure that that goes on their top line, that bonus they get from, they'll sell themselves, if they're at 47 for the end of the month, they'll sell themselves 3 cars to hit that number. Problem is that if you're not hitting your number, it's because the general manager is doing something wrong, typically, right? So it's a very high turnover job, but it can work out great for the consumer in some cases. I've seen people just get smoking deals on cars that are brand new like this. So yeah, we got this one here. It looks like they're both the same color. They're both the underground color, black interior. Yeah, my God, they got 2 of them. I can't believe it. No, no, not used at all. And what makes this unique? See, let's see. We can check the previous sellers too on here. Just shows you where they've reduced the price. Yeah, they've really dropped the price on this thing. This would be a decent buy at like 44, to be honest with you, or 43 or 42. A really good buy, but at 40,000, at 41,000, that's a pretty solid deal. Again, we're not going to really be able to negotiate much off that if I had to make a prediction, but we certainly will do. We can certainly try, but um, that's a yeah. So we've got 2 of them, and I forgot to look at that. So it shows us the previous seller. It shows us where this vehicle is sold and everything, like when it was sold, when they first had it for sale. Yeah, so they sold it to themselves for 51,719. So that's the real price on this truck right here. Okay, so yeah, the real price on this one. They have a thing called they always talk about invoice price. Oh well, there's not really a lot of you know markup on these. So that's the invoice price. It's about $3,200 off the sticker price on one of these. So, but then there's also something called holdback in advertising. So like when they try to tell you invoice price, it's really the biggest bullshit story because the price that the dealership gets it for is not the invoice price. In most cases, it's the price after holdback and advertising. So holdback is changes. The invoice price stays the same. So the invoice price is the same as long as you have the vehicle. But manufacturer may decide to give the dealership more money, and like let's say next month they'll put holdback on this particular truck at $1,000 more. So really, the dealership gets $4,211, or and then advertising would be another $500. So really, realistically, the manufacturer pays all that money back to the manufacturer pays all that money back to the dealership. So that's how I'm able to get like 12 and 13% off these trucks is because off new ones is because there is more than just the invoice price on it. But this is the markup on this truck. You can tell right here. Let's do yeah, I'm auditing the shit out of this dealership right now. There's some funny business going on. And you can tell when they do this, like you can tell too that like the people that get paid on the profits of the store are the general manager, the controller, and then the sales managers get paid on their departments, right? And their finance manager gets paid on their department. But the controller and the general manager are always in cahoots on stuff like this because the controller has to push all this stuff through. Is it in the best interest of the dealer of the dealership group to do this? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You should fire man. These are weak managers, is what these are. Let's see. And usually, when they fire a general manager for doing this, like it's the controller's job to call this out and not to let it happen. But the controller knows a lot of times that they are there because the general manager is there, and they like the general manager and they like things the way they are, so they're willing to work. But I can tell you right now, yeah, that's yep, yep, that's what they did. They sold the thing at $3,000 for about $3,200 off. That's invoice because yeah, I mean the dealership gets all the holdback money for selling the vehicle, so they're not going to discount that on themselves, right? And the advertising, so it's about 2 grand more than that. So that's how I'm able to get them to go lower. And when you can hear my stream sometimes. You can hear me when I'm making calls on new cars, and they'll say things like, "Brad, I know I can." I know I can't sell this car and lose money on it. And I said, that's bullshit because you guys know you get holdback and you get advertising and you guys have to sell so many cars every day and every month. Here's a free car deal for you. It's basically how I frame it for them. And sometimes they'll be so stubborn that they won't take the deal. It just blows me away. I always said, get the money now, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me just double check here and see. Let's go back into our listings here. Yeah, that one in Virginia, it's a gray one, and it's the same price. It's almost 20,000 miles. It's got the light interior. If you want with a light interior, we can get one close. Great. I'm going to send you the links to these ones here that I found. Okay. $442 is the VIN on that one. 442 is the VIN on that one. Let's see. These are the same one. $329 on this one. All right, I'm just sending these here. These are about $14,000 off.